Well, today is going to be a bit of story time for episode 31 of Miscellaneous. Just thinking back on when I was in primary school, because I'm nearly 30. So, way back when I was in year 4, my primary school got a computer lab. And that was a big thing because, back then, when was that? It was 1994 or 1995 or something. Computers were, whoa, what is this crazy new technology? Just came out. And then by year 5, I think, each classroom had one computer in the back of the class. And year 6, there was the internet, which was absolutely crazy. It's you could look random stuff up on the internet. Those were the days of the wild, wild west. Because the internet was still a very new thing. Internet security was non-existent. Having an IT coordinator at a school was non-existent. Filters, blocking, all of that sort of thing, non-existent. If you could look it up on a search engine, I can't even remember what the search engine was back then, Alta Vista or something, but if you could look it up, you could look it up on those school computers. And so us as, little year 6 kids, we were immediately, looking up all manner of wild shit, including certain girls in tubs and citrus flavored gatherings, let's say. There was some crazy shit that we were finding on the internet back then because we could. As time progressed though, we got into year 8 and, we went to high school. And at high school, they had an IT guy. And so we started running into problems. There was filters, there was blocks. And so us as, the little enterprising, shit-talking kids, we have to find a way around it. And so, we start to learn about things like, modifying the filters, how to remove the filters, how to gain administrator access to your computer in order to change those settings around. And then, they start doing it at the back end of the school, so that, like an ISP level almost, so that or a router level filtering. So then us as students, we need to start learning things like how to have proxies, how to use proxies and VPNs and things like that in order to get through. And it just, it was like an arms race. The whole time I was in high school, it was an arms race of the students trying to get one up on the teachers, and each year the teachers would improve their security and the students would, educate themselves further in order to match it. The amount of knowledge that, the enterprising kids got out of that. If you were a kid who was really keen to have your way with that computer, the amount that you would learn in a computer lesson from trying to beat the teacher far outstripped whatever bullshit they were trying to teach you at the time. How to format a letter using Microsoft Word, and here's how you can, copy this exactly using this formatting. It's nah, we don't give a shit about that. We're hacking into your system. We're downloading Counter-Strike onto every single computer in the school so that when you log in on this one account that has administrator access, you can play a LAN against all of your friends across the entire school. That was the sort of shit that we were doing. And it was amazing. I mean, there's one guy in particular, and it was his login. He was, the mastermind of it all. He was the one who learnt everything and taught it to the rest of us. Last I heard, he now works for the Australian Federal Police in the online cyber terrorism division or some shit like that. The amount that he learnt put him into a position where he's now of national, helping out the nation with how good he is with computers. And all of that education that he got begun with, trying to look up gore on school computers and trying to play Counter-Strike on school computers. And it kind of makes me a bit sad, because if you think about kids today, they are not going to have that experience. You know, it's like when I was in school, it was an arms race, and that was a good thing. You know, it was a good thing that there was that arms race, because it was meaning that all of the students were constantly pushing themselves in order to beat the teacher. You know, we had to be smarter than the teacher. Kids these days don't have a chance. You know, they're going in to, you know, battle with the teacher, armed with, you know, their primitive sticks and stones of knowledge. The teacher's got a thermonuclear weapon. Like, school computers these days have just keyloggers, like, mapping every single keystroke on every single computer. If you even begin to attempt to circumnavigate the security, you're fucked. You know, you'll be called into the principal's office immediately, because they're watching everything all the time. Like, there is no getting around it. You're just fucked. Kids aren't going to learn from that. You know, like, too much security is not a good thing. It's not a good thing at all. Like, it's stifling how much the kids can actually learn about computers. It's like, sure, you think that you know what the kids need to be learning, but it's what they used to be learning by trying to beat you that was, you know, the real valuable lesson. Like, I learned a hell of a lot about computers and networking in particular, you know, and network architecture, from trying to get onto the internet. You know, those lessons stuck with me for years. Kids don't get that now. You know, everything they learn is all structured and, you know, exactly what the teacher says. You can't go off and adventure on the internet like you used to be able to. Where's the fun in that? You know, where's the adventure? It's no good. It sucks. So, moral of the story, internet filters. I mean, kind of necessary, but I feel like there should be different levels of filters in each level of school. You know, year 8s should have a certain beatable level of internet filters. Year 9 computers should have a certain level of internet filters. And each year they progress, those filters should be a little bit harder, but not impossible. You know, that should be it. The kids should be encouraged to, if they're smart enough, strive to be good enough to beat, you know, good enough to break free, basically. What's a better incentive for learning? A teacher saying, we're going to be learning how to, you know, type up this document in this format, or the kids trying their asses off to be able to get onto the internet to talk shit, you know, to visit 4chan in a 45-minute window of a lesson or something like that. Which do you reckon the kid is going to aspire to achieve more out of? I'm pretty sure when you actually give them something that they want to work for, you get better results. You get kids who are literally learning, you know, university level shit just to beat the teachers. You can't teach that. They've got to teach themselves. Anyway, this has been a bit of a fun rant and just me recounting a good old story from way back in the days. Yeah. Anyway, if you've got any other things, you know, any other suggestions for videos, please feel free to drop them in the chat, and please remember to like, comment and subscribe. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.